All right. Frankly, I don't agree that curriculum is the most important part of teaching at all. That being said, it's definitely significant for the teacher to have a passion for the subject matter in the curriculum. I don't think that it's appropriate for curricula to be designed the way it currently is, where someone or a committee of someone's sits at a desk in a state office to decide where students of a certain age should be at a certain point in the semester. Those people, despite knowing that the nature of human beings is change, aren't in the classroom every day or even in the school building, and they don't have the right to decide what appropriate pacing is or what appropriate levels would be at a particular time. Teachers who are not only interacting with and engaging their students every day should be the ones who decide what their students can do and how quickly they can do it, because teachers are the experts in not just their content, but also their students. In Powell's text, you gave us the quote, "A developmentally responsive middle-level school will embrace a curriculum that is relevant, challenging, integrative, and exploratory, finely tuned to the characteristics and needs of young adolescents." Ordering these descriptors was very difficult for me. I think all of these are equally significant, but since I need to order them, I'll supply that the distinction between steps is infinitesimal. From least to most important. Integrative, then relevant, challenging, and finally exploratory. Middle-level learners deserve the opportunity, first and foremost, to figure things out for themselves with proper guidance and help from their teacher. Giving students exploratory activities where they decide their own destiny is an integral part of learning self-sufficiency. Alongside that, exploration is best done in the context of a challenge, particularly one where the students need to activate their critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Relevance of the exploration and the challenge to the students is crucial to obtaining their motivation. And once that is obtained, then the overall significance of the activities can be integrated with other concepts. Switching to the article that we had to read for the standards movement, the first thing that stood out to me was the business model of standard-driven reform. So the business model is, from a certain angle, an appropriate attempt to model education based on the form of our economy. That being said, I don't feel it would be as appropriate when applied to the public school system. The business model only prevails on the foundation that its lowest participants are workers who are still being paid. Students are not being paid to go to school, so on a very basic standpoint, the only motivation to do well in school is for their own personal future. If success in school is achieved, then they succeed in our economy afterward. From a certain angle, this also reflects most businesses in the USA in the sense that employees with good yearly reviews should receive promotions and more benefits. But once again, the students are not being paid. Employees have their paycheck as their main incentive, which students don't have. Another thing that stood out to me was the fact that the accountability model prevailed. Educators that truly want to be in the profession and care about their students' success will do everything in their power to ensure achievement. It's both a relief and an intimidation factor that the understanding the states had of their teachers was that the responsibility for securing higher scores fell completely on them. Mandating state testing and requiring it to show on school report cards and threatening a teacher's job when they are not fantastic, when the scores are not fantastic, is completely unfair, in my opinion. How are you going to assess a student's problem-solving skills and critical thinking ability in a multiple-choice fact recall style test? This model of measuring student success is failing the students at a fundamental level because it reports nothing of students' accomplishments in the classroom besides what they can memorize and then immediately forget afterward, in all honesty. Ultimately, if the scores of these reflect on the teachers, it's harmful to our education system because we as teachers begin to feel like we are the failures. And I don't know people that feel more guilty about their performance than teachers do, especially if things don't go 100% the way that they planned and intended. The video, The Real Experts of Educational Reform, connects to this particular article in the sense that it recognizes the need for a standard system, but it also recognizes the fact that students and teachers need to make their own decisions about learning. No two students are the same, and neither are two teachers, as exemplified by Mr. Sakat when describing his student chastity. The teachers should be given the standards like an outline, And then they, alongside the students, can determine how, when, and where to learn those standards. I teach 8th grade science, so I picked science standards from 8th grade. I picked from the 2021 College and Career Ready standards. So the standard that is relevant to the students, I picked 8PS43, which is communicate information to support the claim that digital devices are used to improve our understanding of how waves transmit information. This standard is directly relevant to students because they have a digital device that uses waves to transmit data in their pockets at all times, as do most adults now. Understanding how their devices work will be something that is constantly evolving, but based on the same fundamental understanding, even as technology improves. So this is a great relevant connection. The challenging standard, I chose 8ESS1-3. Evaluate information to determine scale properties of objects in the solar system. This standard provides the opportunity for students to not only obtain a cosmic understanding of our existence, but also to see our overall significance in the universe. Additionally, they will be challenged with creating a model based on their scales that they make, which will engage their creativity in constructing objects in the solar system. The integrative standard I chose was 8PS23. Analyze and interpret data to determine the factors that affect the strength of electric and magnetic forces. This standard directly relates to contact forces in the universe. Scientists, engineers, medical professionals, artists, musicians, and more use electric and magnetic fields to perform their careers on a daily basis. On top of that, understanding what provides a field its strength will help students' understanding of On top of that, understanding what provides a field its strength will help students' understanding of electricity safety, especially as we are developing more efficient clean energy solutions. And the standard presented in an exploratory way, I chose 8PS21, which is apply Newton's third law to design a solution to a problem involving the motion of two colliding objects. This standard will allow me as the teacher an opportunity to show students how to apply the scientific method. I'll engage them by showing designs of older cars, their benefits and downsides, and then they will need to research newer cars, all in the context of avoiding a collision. The students will then need to explore and design a vehicle to either prevent a collision from happening or to limit the effects of force in a collision.